We're counting down 20 medicinal plants that ancient healers relied on for centuries. Remedies for pain, infection, inflammation, even the flu, that modern medicine quietly replaced and nearly erased from memory. From battlefield wound herbs used since the Trojan War to an ancient root, now backed by over 12,000 clinical studies, every entry on this list carries a story of suppression, rediscovery, and science finally catching up to tradition. The deeper we go, the harder the evidence hits. Let's begin the countdown at number 20, with a plant named after a Greek warrior. In the 20th place, yarrow steps out of ancient legend and into the medical record. Greek warriors packed fresh yarrow into battlefield wounds so often that the plant itself was named for Achilles. Dioscorides, the Roman army physician, wrote of its power to slow bleeding, an early nod to the sesquiterpene lactines found in its leaves and stems, measured today at up to 0.5% by weight. Modern science has barely scratched the surface. A small pilot trial in Europe found that yarrow paste could reduce bleeding time, but the evidence remains thin. Once a staple of survival, yarrow's story now marks the starting line for forgotten remedies waiting to be rediscovered. Number 19. Mullein stands tall in the folklore of both Europe and North America as the go-to remedy for stubborn coughs. For centuries, healers bundled its fuzzy leaves and inhaled their steam to calm inflamed lungs, a ritual passed down through generations of folk and Native American medicine. The plant's saponins and flavonoids, now confirmed in laboratory assays, show anti-inflammatory effects by modulating COX-2 enzymes, but modern clinical trials are still missing. While pharmaceutical cough syrups dominate today, Mullein's legacy as a steam remedy for bronchitis and chest congestion lingers on, quietly challenging the notion that only patented medicines can soothe the breath. Number 18. Plantain leaf hides in plain sight, sprouting between sidewalk cracks and backyard lawns, dismissed as a weed by most. Yet for centuries, healers reached for its broad green leaves as a living first aid kit. Pressed onto scrapes, stings, or minor burns, plantain's cool, moist surface delivers instant relief, a trick passed down through Native American and European folk medicine. In laboratory assays, plantain extract speeds up the migration of skin cells, a key step in wound closure. A small randomized trial found that ointments made from plantain leaf shortened healing time for minor abrasions by 2 days compared to standard care. For those who know how to spot it, this backyard remedy offers a fast, natural answer to life's everyday injuries. Proof that sometimes the most powerful medicine is right underfoot. Number 17. Valerian root lingers on the edge of medical memory. A plant once prized by Greek and Roman healers for its calming touch. Victorian apothecaries bottled its pungent tincture to quiet nerves and coax sleep. A tradition rooted in the belief that valerian could still the mind when nothing else would. Modern research points to valerianic acids, which bind to GABA A receptors, echoing the action of prescription sedatives. Yet the evidence is a patchwork, with some clinical trials reporting modest improvements in sleep onset, while others find little effect beyond placebo. Its strong odor and central nervous system effects have drawn caution, especially when combined with other sedatives. Valerian's story is a reminder. Nature's tranquilizers can be both powerful and unpredictable. Their place in the medicine cabinet remains unsettled. Number 16. Calendula flashes its bright orange petals across centuries of folk medicine, yet today its healing touch is nearly forgotten. Roman surgeons and Civil War field doctors alike reached for calendula salves to calm inflamed skin and speed the closure of minor wounds. Unlike harsher botanicals, calendula's low irritation profile made it safe for sensitive skin, an advantage that kept it in household ointments long after other remedies faded. modern trials confirm what tradition long claimed. Topical calendula extracts reduce redness and swelling, helping small cuts and burns recover faster. But as antibiotics and synthetic creams took over, this soothing flower slipped from the spotlight. Its gentle anti-inflammatory power is now overshadowed by pharmaceutical giants. Number 15. Marshmallow root slips quietly into the history of healing. Yet its gentle power is anything but subtle. Ancient Egyptians blended the sticky root in honeyed syrups to soothe sore throats, a tradition that carried into European apothecaries for centuries. The secret lies in its dense, soothing polysaccharides, which form a soft, protective coat over irritated tissues, making each sip feel like a balm for raw airways. In a modern crossover trial, marshmallow tea delivered a 30% drop in cough frequency after just a few nights, rivaling some over-the-counter remedies. Today, about a third of herbal cough drops still rely on this root's unique texture and taste. While pharmaceutical syrups dominate the shelves, marshmallow's comforting shield remains a quiet remedy for those who remember its touch. Number 14. Cat's claw winds its way out of the Amazon canopy, wrapped in shamanic legend and modern controversy. For centuries, tribal healers brewed the bark into a bitter decoction, calling on its power to ease swollen joints and mysterious fevers. The secret lies in its oxindole alkaloids, compounds now shown to modulate immune signaling in laboratory tests. Mainstream medicine barely glances at cat's claw, but a small double-blind trial in rheumatoid arthritis changed the story. Patients taking the extract saw a 20% drop in DAS 28 disease scores compared to placebo. Yet the evidence remains slim, and concerns over biopiracy shadow its export. Cat's claw stands as both a promise and a warning, an immune modulator that straddles the line between rainforest wisdom and the ethical dilemmas of modern drug discovery. Number 13. Witch hazel stands as the quiet champion of over-the-counter astringents, its legacy rooted in the healing traditions of Native Americans and colonial surgeons. Distilled from the bark and leaves of Hamamelis virginiana, this plant's tannin-rich extract became a staple for calming inflamed skin, shrinking swollen vessels, and easing the discomfort of hemorrhoids, a use still validated by modern symptom trials. Unlike systemic botanicals, witch hazel's claim to fame is strictly topical. It constricts small blood vessels, reduces redness, and dries out minor wounds with a gentle touch. Yet, the same tannins that soothe the skin can irritate mucous membranes if overused, which cautions against prolonged internal application. While its presence in drugstore aisles endures, the plant's internal promises have faded. Witch hazel is now a specialist, trusted for targeted relief, but rarely called upon for deeper healing. Number 12. Slippery elm is the quiet guardian of the American forest. Its inner bark was once a lifeline for settlers and soldiers facing starvation or injury. Healers scraped the bark into a fine powder and stirred it into water, where it formed a slippery coat that soothed burning throats and raw stomachs. This gentle barrier, rich in plant polysaccharides, earned slippery elm a place in lozenges and home remedies for heartburn and reflux. In a modern case series, 71% of people with chronic reflux reported relief after using slippery elm bark, a figure that stands out even as rigorous clinical trials remain scarce. But every dose comes with a price. Harvesting the bark kills the tree, raising hard questions about sustainability that echo through herbal circles today. As pharmaceutical antacids took over, slippery elm faded from the medicine chest. Yet its legacy of comfort and ethical challenge still lingers at the margins of natural healing. Number 11. Stinging nettle turns the tables on its reputation as a backyard menace. For centuries, healers across Europe and Asia prized nettle not just for its sting, but for its power to calm inflamed joints, soothe allergies, and nourish the body. Young shoots, once boiled into soups, delivered a rush of iron, calcium, and magnesium, vital nutrients in lean times. Modern researchers have put nettle to the test, finding that its extracts can dial down histamine responses and ease symptoms in allergy sufferers. Clinical trials even point to its success in managing inflammation and urinary complaints. Ubiquitous, overlooked, yet scientifically validated, nettle stands as a living reminder that sometimes the weeds underfoot hold the medicine we've forgotten. In the 10th place, Echinacea stands as the icon of immune-boosting folklore, yet its reputation is tangled in controversy. For countless generations, Plains tribes pressed the root into poultices for festering wounds, and chewed it to relieve toothache or sore throat. By the late 19th century, Echinacea tinctures lined the shelves of American apothecaries, promising protection against everything from snakebite to the common cold. The secret lies in its alkamides, compounds that modulate immune cell activity, now confirmed through laboratory assays. Modern science, however, offers only a cautious endorsement. A sweeping Cochrane review, pooling 16 randomized controlled trials and over 2,000 participants, found that echinacea might shorten the duration of a cold by half a day at best. The evidence is inconsistent, with some studies showing no benefit at all. Despite its blockbuster popularity in the supplement aisle, echinacea's clinical impact remains modest. Its story sets the stage for deeper dives ahead, where ancient wisdom and modern proof collide with even greater force. Number 9. Comfrey is both a legend and a cautionary tale in the world of forgotten medicine. Known as knit bone since the Middle Ages, comfrey root earned its reputation for mending broken bones and speeding the closure of wounds. Medieval healers plastered its crushed root onto fractures, betting on its rich supply of allantoin, measured at nearly 1% by weight, to spark new tissue growth. Modern science has confirmed that topical comfrey can shrink wound gape by 18%, with randomized trials showing faster healing for sprains and bruises. Yet this healing power comes with a dramatic warning. Internal use of comfrey is banned because of liver toxicity. Pyrrolizidine alkaloids present in the plant can cause irreversible liver damage if absorbed in significant amounts. Regulatory agencies worldwide have drawn a hard line, allowing comfrey creams on unbroken skin, but removing teas and capsules from pharmacy shelves. Comfrey's story is a stark reminder: even the most effective natural remedies can turn toxic if misused, and the line between cure and harm is sometimes razor thin. 8th place belongs to golden seal, a plant whose story is as tangled as the Appalachian forests where it once thrived. Cherokee healers chewed its bright yellow root for wounds and infections, relying on its bitter taste as a mark of potency. The secret lies in berberine, measured at up to 5% of the dried rhizome. Berberine is a compound with broad-spectrum antimicrobial action that modern science can no longer ignore. In a multi-center randomized trial of 212 adults with bacterial diarrhea, berberine delivered a 48% higher cure rate than placebo, a margin that rivals many prescription antibiotics. Yet the very success of golden seal has become its undoing. Decades of wild harvesting have devastated native stands, forcing the plant onto the CITES list of endangered species. Conservationists warn that demand outpaces sustainable supply, and commercial cultivation struggles to keep up. Golden seal stands as both a triumph and a caution, a remedy proven in the lab, but now threatened by its own popularity. Its fate poses a hard question. Can a plant be both a healer and a victim of the healing industry? For anyone seeking natural alternatives, golden seal's story is a reminder. Ethical choices matter as much as clinical results. Number 7. Milk. Thistle stands at the crossroads of ancient lore and modern liver science. In the shadow of Roman amphitheaters, healers once pressed the purple-crowned seeds into bitter tonics, convinced they could shield the body's most vital filter from poison and excess. Centuries later, the plant's reputation as a liver remedy would be tested by the rigors of clinical research. The secret lies in silymarin, a complex of flavonolignans, now measured at up to 3% of the dried seed by high-performance liquid chromatography. Silymarin's power is more than legend. It embeds itself in hepatocyte membranes, acting as an antioxidant shield against free radical damage. For patients with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, a recent meta-analysis of 8 randomized trials, encompassing over 700 adults, found that silymarin supplementation led to a mean reduction in ALT, a key marker of liver inflammation, by 8 units per liter. That is a modest but statistically significant shift, one that pharmaceutical giants have yet to match with a patented alternative. Milk thistle's story is not one of miracle cures, but of steady, organ-specific protection. An herbal safeguard that mainstream medicine has quietly pushed aside in favor of synthetic drugs, even as evidence for its gentle efficacy continues to grow. Number 6. White willow bark stands at a dramatic crossroads in the story of medicine. A natural healer whose very success led to its own erasure. For millennia, healers from Hippocrates in ancient Greece to Civil War surgeons reached for strips of Salix alba bark to ease pain and break fevers. For millennia, people relied on the bark. The secret lay in salicin, a bitter compound making up as much as 5% of the dried bark, which the body transforms into salicylic acid, the ancestor of every aspirin tablet ever swallowed. In 1897, a seismic shift occurred. Bayer chemists in Germany acetylated salicylic acid, creating a stable, patentable drug that could be mass-produced and sold worldwide. The result was aspirin, the first blockbuster pharmaceutical, and the beginning of a new medical era. With a single chemical tweak, the messy variability of willow bark was replaced by the clinical precision and profit of a pill. Modern trials confirm willow bark extract can match ibuprofen for pain relief, with fewer stomach side effects. Fewer side effects helped make standardized drugs more appealing. Yet the raw bark faded from pharmacies, its healing power eclipsed by the march of patents and the promise of standardized dosing. White willow's story is not just about pain relief. It is the inflection point where plant wisdom was systematically replaced, marking the moment when natural medicine lost its seat at the head of the table. Number 5. Feverfew stands as the migraine prophylaxis powerhouse that mainstream medicine quietly left behind. In the 17th century, apothecaries across Europe prescribed feverfew for every kind of head pain, its bitter leaves pressed into teas and tinctures. The secret lies in parthenolide, a sesquiterpene lactone concentrated in the flowering tops, measured today at 0.2 to 0.5% by weight. Parthenolide works by inhibiting NF-kappa B signaling, a master switch for inflammation and pain. Modern science has put this folk remedy to the test. A meta-analysis pooling data from nearly 560 patients found that standardized feverfew extracts cut migraine days by about 1/3, with up to 1 in 3 patients experiencing a 50% or greater reduction in attacks after just a month. That is a clinical figure that rivals some prescription preventives, without the pharmaceutical side effects. Yet, feverfew's story is complicated by its very nature. Variability in parthenolide content between cultivars and batches has made standardization a challenge, keeping it out of the pharmaceutical mainstream. Despite robust evidence and centuries of use, feverfew remains a shadow remedy, powerful, proven, and still overlooked in the age of patented migraine pills. Its legacy is a sharp reminder. The pharmacy garden holds cures that science confirms, but industry rarely champions. Number 4. Elderberry stands as the ancient antiviral that medieval Europe trusted when plagues swept the land. Apothecaries brewed its blackberries into thick cordials, believing the plant could ward off fevers and death itself. The secret lies in the deep purple pigments, anthocyanins, making up nearly 1% of the berry's weight. These compounds are now measured by modern LCMS. They do more than color the fruit. They block the neuraminidase enzyme that viruses like influenza use to invade our cells. For centuries, this was folklore. Then, a double-blind, placebo-controlled trial put elderberry syrup to the test. In a group of 156 flu patients, those given elderberry recovered nearly 4 days faster than those on placebo, a difference that stunned even cautious researchers. The study marked a turning point. Here was a centuries-old remedy, dismissed by modern medicine, now validated in the language of randomized controlled trials. While pharmaceutical antivirals dominate today, elderberry's story is a reminder that nature's pharmacy sometimes holds answers. Science is only beginning to rediscover. The evidence is clear, but variability in berry extract and product quality keeps elderberry just shy of the clinical mainstream, a powerful remedy still waiting for its full return. Coming to the top 3, ashwagandha emerges from the heart of Ayurveda as the ultimate stress antidote. A plant so revered, it was said to grant the stamina of a stallion. For over 3,000 years, healers in India prescribed its earthy root as a rasayana, a rejuvenator for mind and body, believed to restore lost vitality and shield the spirit from life's storms. But ashwagandha's legend is no longer just a tale from ancient scrolls. Modern clinical trials have put its power under the microscope, revealing a hormonal effect that borders on astonishing. In a randomized controlled study of adults facing chronic stress, daily supplementation with a standardized extract, measured precisely for withanolides, slashed serum cortisol by nearly 30% after 60 days. That figure, echoed in a second multi-center trial with over 100 participants, stands as one of the clearest demonstrations of real, measurable endocrine modulation by any plant in the modern era. These results were not just statistical blips. Participants reported sharper focus, calmer moods, and deeper sleep, all tracked against validated stress and sleep quality scales. Unlike prescription tranquilizers or synthetic cortisol blockers, ashwagandha works by gently nudging the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis back into balance, a feat pharmaceutical giants have struggled to replicate without side effects. Yet despite this, the plant was pushed to the margins, too complex and too unpatentable for the single molecule model of modern drug development. Today, as stress and burnout reach epidemic levels, ashwagandha's story is being rewritten. The evidence is clear, the tradition unbroken, and the question hangs in the air. Why did we ever let this healing root slip from our grasp? In second place, Arnica montana emerges from the high meadows of Europe as the unrivaled healer for bruises and blunt trauma. A remedy so potent, its reputation outlasted the centuries. Alpine shepherds once pressed its golden flowers into fresh wounds, swearing by its uncanny ability to erase swelling and discoloration. The secret lies in helinolen, a sesquiterpene lactone that modern science has pinpointed as Arnica's anti-inflammatory engine. Helinolen disrupts the NF-kappa B pathway, shutting down the cascade of cytokines that fuel bruising and pain. The clinical evidence is as striking as the folklore. In randomized controlled trials, topical Arnica gels and ointments cut the area of post-surgical bruising by as much as 44%, with patients recovering visible color and comfort days ahead of placebo. One study after knee surgery found a 38% drop in ecchymosis area after just 3 days of Arnica application. Another, tracking facial bruising after cosmetic procedures, saw redness fade twice as fast with a simple 7% gel. The data are clear. When used on the skin, Arnica rivals pharmaceutical anti-inflammatories for bruise management, without the risk of gastric ulcers or prescription restrictions. But the story darkens if the remedy is misused. Helenalin is a powerful toxin when swallowed or applied to broken skin, provoking severe liver damage and even death at high doses. Modern regulations ban oral arnica and limit topical use to concentrations below 10% for no more than 2 weeks. The lesson is stark. Arnica's power is real, but so are its risks. For those who respect its boundaries, this mountain flower remains the go-to for rapid recovery from falls, sprains, and surgical bruises. A living testament to the wisdom of alpine folk healers, now validated by clinical trials and biochemical scrutiny. As the countdown nears its climax, Arnica stands as the penultimate champion of forgotten trauma care, setting the stage for the ultimate anti-inflammatory at number 1. Turmeric's golden root has colored food, medicine, and ritual across South Asia for centuries. In Ayurveda, healers crafted golden paste from turmeric to treat wounds, infections, and chronic pain, trusting its power to cool inflammation when little else could. The secret is curcumin, a compound that has inspired over 12,000 peer-reviewed studies, more than any other plant medicine. This isn't just tradition, it's a mountain of evidence. Curcumin makes up just 2 to 5% of dried turmeric, yet in the lab it blocks inflammatory pathways targeted by prescription, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. But the real test comes in human trials. A meta-analysis of 12 randomized controlled trials, covering more than 1,200 osteoarthritis patients, found standardized curcumin extracts reduced pain with a standardized mean difference of minus 0.3. That puts turmeric on par with ibuprofen for knee pain, but with fewer gastrointestinal side effects. Patients reported less swelling and better mobility. For those seeking natural pain relief, this is where ancient wisdom meets clinical proof. Curcumin's biggest challenge is absorption. Less than 1% of what is swallowed reaches the bloodstream. This limitation sparked a wave of pharmaceutical patents for bioavailable curcumin, with formulas blended with black pepper, phospholipids, or nanoparticles, all promising to unlock turmeric's full potential. The same industry that once dismissed turmeric now races to patent its essence, turning the golden paste of Ayurveda into a global commodity. Turmeric's story is bigger than any one study or supplement. It stands as a symbol of how ancient remedies can survive, and sometimes surpass, the pharmaceutical age. Across kitchens and clinics worldwide, turmeric's reputation as an anti-inflammatory and wound healer is being revived by both tradition and hard clinical data. The remedies that endure are often those rooted in history, quietly waiting to be rediscovered. Across all 20 plants, one pattern stands out. Nature's pharmacy was never obsolete, only overshadowed. Ancient wisdom and modern science now converge, exposing how powerful remedies slipped from our grasp, not by chance, but by design. The real lesson? Forgotten cures aren't lost. They are waiting to be reclaimed. Our health story is still being rewritten. Which plant surprised you most? Let us know in the comments.